The best advice I've ever had as a landlord and a property investor is it's just a pile of bricks. It's brilliant advice, and I'm going to explain exactly what it means and how you can use it to improve your life as a landlord or as a property investor or both, because it completely changed my life. It changed the way I bought and sold property. It changed the way I am as a landlord. It changed everything about my property life and also my business life as well. So I really want to share this advice with you. And the funny thing is, the guy that gave me this advice didn't even realize he was giving me advice. It was very much a throwaway comment. And he's a local property developer, local to me. And I was asking him for some advice on a property investment that I was trying to get completed. And then he just came up with this line: Tom, it's just a pile of bricks. And that was one of those eureka moments. So that's why I want to share it with you. But let me tell you how it came about first and what I was going through for that advice to become the most groundbreaking advice that I've ever had in property. I was trying to buy a property as an investment. I was going to buy it, refurbish it, and then sell it. And there was a really good profit margin in this one, so I was really keen to get it through. And with property investments, one of the challenges you face is you're buying these properties for a low price, and sometimes the seller can get a bit greedy and get a bit demanding. And so I made an offer for this property and the seller accepted. Brilliant. Then a month down the line, he comes back and says that he wants more money. So I bartered a little bit backwards and forwards, and eventually I increased my offer. And then another while later, he did the same thing again and said he wants more money. He's selling it too cheap and he wants more money, otherwise he's going to withdraw and put the property back on the market. So I recalculated and I said, okay, I'll increase my offer. Fine. Hopefully that was that. And another while later, there were then some issues with the management pack of this property. This was a flat I was buying. And so I was trying to renegotiate again with the seller because there were these issues that needed rectifying. And I was happy to take on the cost of those things, but then I would need to reduce the price again to reflect those additional costs. And he was arguing and refusing and trying to get as much money as he can, which I understand. He's entitled to do that. And I'd already spent money on solicitors. I'd already got most of the way through the process, and all these things came up. So I was getting more and more frustrated, more and more stressed about it, because I really wanted this deal to go through. It was a great deal, good profit margin, and I was getting more and more angry about it. So I spoke to my friend who, like I say, is a property developer in my area, and he could tell that I was getting really frustrated with this. And he said, Tom, it's just a pile of bricks. There's another pile of bricks down the road. And I realized exactly what he was trying to say. He was trying to say, don't worry about it, move on, go to the next place. And really, if you look deeper into that quote, the actual message is, don't get emotionally attached or emotionally involved in a property because it's just a pile of bricks. It is stressful because we as human beings get involved in it emotionally. It makes us angry when solicitors don't do their job properly. It makes us angry when the sellers or the buyers don't do their parts properly, or delay things, or mess around, or argue, renegotiate, things like that. And that's why it's such a stressful period of time. And so when I heard that quote, I call it a quote, he didn't even mean to do it. When I hear that quote, I say, oh yeah, it's just a pile of bricks. My kids will still love me when I get home. My wife will still love me when I get home. My family will still love me. I'm not going to stop breathing if this property deal doesn't go through. It's just a pile of bricks. And so that kind of had a knock-on effect for me, because then I started thinking about that same rule of life, if you like, with other things. That's how I then started seeing business. It's just a business. And yes, I've poured my heart and soul and my blood and guts into this business, but it is just a business. And so the reason I want to tell everybody this is because if you are a landlord, then you can definitely use that advice, because so many landlords get really frustrated and stressed and upset and angry when their tenants do things they don't like, or when perhaps the property, it needs maintaining or repairing, or things go wrong, or the tenant doesn't pay rent, or something like this. And the important thing to remember is, yes, it is a stressful situation. It's really frustrating. It makes you so angry, but it's just a pile of bricks. And in fact, if you're able to completely remove your emotion from those situations, I would make the argument that you're able to solve the problems and fix things much quicker, because you're seeing things more clearly. When we're angry about tenants, when we're angry about the property or the rent or the money or whatever it is, then I think that makes your judgment way less accurate and effective and efficient. So if you can, when you're facing a problem as a landlord or a property investor, just think to yourself, it's just a pile of bricks. And now I'll put it over to you, anybody watching this or listening to this. What is the top advice that you've ever received in property? Comment below. I'd love to hear what the advice was that changed your view of property and your life in property. Let me know.